we're going to be DCAing some money. We got about 380.96 on there. I haven't been posting lately, but I'm currently in a short position. And we're going to talk about that a little later, how to short this. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So 280.96, what we're going to do is pay with our PayPal account. And we're going to buy USDC for first in, first out. That way we hold dollars first, and it makes taxes easier on Coinbase. It's just going to be dollars coming out, and they'll know if we withdraw more than we need or more than we put in, then there's a profit. Otherwise, we have to worry about all these conversions and whatnot. It's confusing. Alright, so now we're going to send this over to our DeFi Saver wallet. There it is. And 280.96. Let's go ahead and send that to Arbitrum to save on fees and send it. Alright, so we do the opposite on shorting. So instead of swapping Bitcoin and then uploading it and whatnot, we're going to do the opposite. So right now we're going to go ahead and supply it first to our position. So I'm going to give you a quick refresh here. Let me make sure I'm signed in on my stuff. I did have some issues earlier with signing in, so we'll see if that comes up again. I started doing transactions on my phone. That seemed to be easier, but now we're going to try it one more time, see if it's resolved itself somehow. Alright, so I have right here, so we're going to supply the 280.96 that we just put in. That'll increase our position, our collateral, I mean, so it's a little more favorable. I'm going to begin the signing process. And let's go with that. I'm going to move this to the side so I can enter my credentials in a secure fashion. Let's see what we got here. Good. And I'm going to sign it off, and this should go through. Alright, so now that it's signed in, I'll have 220 something, 2,200 whatever in my bank right here. And then I'm going to continue borrowing from it, but I'm going to borrow Bitcoin as it's coming down, so it makes it easier to pay off. Is the idea. So we're going to borrow Bitcoin. I'm going to need about 1,000 worth, but I might have to do in 2 of those transactions, but we'll see. That should be about 0.015, I believe. See, that puts 1,000 down, so that increases my position by 1,000. That does bring it down a little bit, so I might trigger it. Let's see. Do I want to trigger it? We'll see. Let me just go with 0.08 for now. I might come back later on, and I might milk it over time as I need it. So this seems to be about $500 here, $299. No, that's the same. So this is what matters here. So about 3,000. That's going to increase my borrowing to 5,000. That reduces about $500. I just want to go a little bit over. So this should be 2,862. So that should do it. Let's go ahead and borrow that, and I'm still good in terms of margin wise. And then I'll pull the transactions a little bit over time, so I don't get hit with a trigger here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to send some money over to my wife. So as it comes down, I'll be able to draw a little more and then have more to draw. So it's going favorably in my direction right now, but if I trigger it too early, then I lose the advantage of that. I would sell too early if it's going in my favor. Alright, so now we're going to exchange it now. So we're going to sell the Bitcoin for USDC, and then I can send this to my wife, and then she can use that money and buy Bitcoin, and then she can long and whatnot. So we're playing both directions here. So I'm shorting, she's longing, so it goes well in my favor. Then she gets more money, and then as long as she doesn't liquidate it, she'll be alright too. So she can constantly dollar cost average in, and when it rises, she'll have more and whatnot, and I get more groceries, more food, more things to do. Alright, good. One more. Alright, so now I have money, and I borrowed from it, so I still have the 3,000 right there, right? But now it's just borrowing wrap Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin goes down, I have more and more to borrow. And it also, once I swap it, I'll have more and more Bitcoin to swap at the end of the day when it flips. There it is. So now we got some money. Let's go ahead and send it off to my wife. Send Amber. That's it right there. Yeah, you can send her some money too. That's her address. So send it there. Send $500 to her. Boom. And done. So now I just need a couple $100 just to have some margin and pay some bills. So I'm gonna go ahead and borrow another 0.02. So I cut this in steps. You pretty much know what to do now. Cut out if you like. If you want to watch me do the rest, it's just gonna repeat the process, but just a smaller amount. That way I can do my calculations kind of properly and not have to get triggered So I can say, hey, so this is gonna give me maybe $200. I give me 5% margin before I get, if it goes against me, I'll get liquidated. But now I could borrow another $150. Looks like here, 80.42, $150. So maybe go with the low five. See how much that brings me down to 0.0. So $680. So six. So that's about $200 maybe. 842. I gotta do the math here. $120, $160. So let's go with 8. Try to get that $200. 3.8, 6684. Let's go a little more. 9, so $200. So that's about right. 50, $200 down. So I'm gonna pull that down, borrow that. I'm still pretty healthy, so let's kind of go with that. I have 4% left. I think that's okay. And then I'll probably use that to go make some more money and continue the process and go from there. Oh, one more thing I want to show you why I'm shorting and how to know when to long. So let me go ahead and finish this off. That's borrowed. Good. Now we're going to swap it. And right here. Oh, that's about $200 USDC. There it is. Let's go ahead and swap that out. Leverage up. Alright. It's good to go. One more time. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is show you, now that I have dollars, $187, right? So I have this training here. We're going to do a tactical short. The bottom right here, we go by time frame. There's another maybe 2 months left. 926 is where the bottom should be. So we're expecting maybe another 2 months from today. So towards the end of September. And then once it hits that, then we could expect the top of maybe September. Oh no, this is 298 days ago. This is back in the day at the very high of 125,000. The halving is going to happen again in April. So we're going to have a bottom, we're going to have a top. I think it would be more useful if we had a expected top right here. So we'll make an update to that later, so I could know when. But I'm sure that'll switch over from a bottom to a long, and then we'll get to know once we switch to a long. So I guess we don't need to know until what we really need to worry about is this next point right here. So I guess that's why. All right, so that's that. I'll put this link below if you want to get access to this. What we do is dollar cost average down. As it takes profit, it kicks off some cash flow. And I'm still working on this, trying to get this more money into it and test it. So it's still not proven yet, but we'll see. Anyways, if you want to explore this journey with me, I'll leave that for you and go from there. Thanks.